Welcome to the webinar, everybody. We're going to start right off the bat with Rod.
Hey guys, got a few things I want to talk about first. My main topic is going to be how to use WordPress to ping more sites than what it typically does, and how that could help your indexing efforts without being too forceful or obtuse. We tend to steer people away from the paid indexing services because a lot of times Google can almost penalize you for using those, just like they will for using a bunch of spammy backlinks. And so we don't generally recommend that you go use a paid indexing service. Now, you may have one that you swear works better than most, but in general, a paid indexing service is probably not a good thing. And what you would typically see with those is you might see a quick bounce of lots of pages getting indexed, and then you'll see it taper back off again, and a bunch of the pages that said they were indexed last week are all of a sudden not indexed anymore. Google just doesn't like being told what to do, and an indexing service is basically telling them, hey, look at my content, look at it now, and get it indexed, will you? Well, you know how they are. So a couple of things we want to talk about first, though, is I want to tell you a few things that are going on at Locustware behind the scenes. We're continuing to work on it. Randy and several others are continuing to work on the Learning Center and the graphics associated with the Learning Center to make it nice and attractive. We've got work being done on the web page, and so the main Locustware web page is going to change drastically, be much more attractive, hopefully, and you'll be able to actually find what you're looking for and find software, etc., etc. And on Friday, 2 days from now, one of our star beta test people and outstanding video maker, training video maker, Marty, is releasing his first product launch. So we're pretty excited about that. We're going to support it to the hilt, and he can tell you more about it as we get closer to Friday. I don't want to talk about pricing or anything like that. I'm not even sure I know. But he's got a great series that will help amplify what you do with organic traffic platform. So he's got a number of over-the-shoulder videos on how he has reached success in using the organic traffic platform. We've got several cool pieces of software coming. There's one called Tube Magic. There's another one called Domain Resurrector. And there's a very cool version of organic traffic platform coming that we may call Phantom version, which is going to change drastically. Not necessarily drastically how you build it or what you do, but change drastically. We think it's going to index like nothing you've seen before. And then lastly, I like to point out a few things that I come across in my reading or in my explorations when I'm not helping somebody. One of them is I found a cool article. How many know what an SSD is? Solid state drive. A lot of your computers have solid state drives. Did you know that for one, that your solid state drives, a lot of people assume because there's no moving parts that they'll last forever. You never want to assume that. In fact, some of the newer types of solid state drives actually have a very limited number of life cycles that they're guaranteed. And by life cycles, I mean read and write cycles. Well, one of the things that I learned that I'd never really considered before is that if you keep your drive at 80% full versus 90% full, you will drastically extend the life of your drive because of the number of reads and writes it has to do if you keep the drive very full. So as soon as I learned that, I started moving some stuff off of my solid state drive to try and keep it around a little bit longer. Because you'll find a lot of times you just store stuff there. If you're using the system of, you got a small solid state drive and a bigger normal hard drive, the type with the moving parts, you tend to just throw everything on your solid state drive and hardly ever use the great big 1 or 2 terabyte hard drive that's for that. So it's a great idea to keep your solid state drives with just minimal programs and keep all the things like your documents and all your work, all your OTP campaigns, all of that. Keep those over on your regular hard drive. Even though it's a little bit slower to access, it will greatly extend the life of your solid state drive. Another thing I came across, I know a few of you have probably heard of shareware. What's it called? Shareware
On sale?
On sale, yes. Well, they have a pretty cool thing for free right now that you probably want to go access. Now, one thing about shareware on sale is they tend to, one of the reasons they like to give away stuff besides getting a nice big list out of it is they also tend to bundle a little bit of spyware and adware there with you, with it. So I have some ways of trying to just get the software from them without getting the bundled stuff, the bundled spyware and adware, because we've got enough of that coming from Facebook and Google and other places. But anyway, there's the software that I'm talking about that's free this week was called AirLive Drive Pro. And what's really cool about this is it allows you to map your various cloud storage places as online drives. Now, why is that cool? Because what a typical problem that a lot of people have when they're using organic traffic platform in a remote desktop type scenario, a lot of times your remote desktop disk space is very limited. Well, if you hook up to OneDrive or what are some of the other ones I'm trying to think of? OneDrive, what's the one that starts with a D?
Dropbox.
Dropbox, thank you. OneDrive, Dropbox, Box. There's hundreds of them. Even Google Drive. If you hook up to any of those, they do what's called a syncing. They synchronize files to the remote desktop. So in other words, you think that you're only keeping them in the cloud, but in reality, you're also keeping a copy on the local hard drive. So in cases where your space is really limited, that really gets crowded. And then you start doing some campaigns and very shortly you're running out of space. So what this does is it allows you to map the drives as it allows you to map. In other words, what I'm saying here is when I go to, say, File Manager or Windows Explorer, you can see here that when I go to this PC, I've got a Z drive, which is my Google Drive, and a Y drive, which is my Mega Mega's a pretty good free one. I like them because they used to give away 50 gigabytes of free space to entice you to, and 50 gigabytes is a pretty good amount of space to give away for free. Google Drive, I think, gives you 15 gigs total. So anyway, I use a few of these, and it'll allow you to map these as if they're regular, just attached hard drives on your BPS, but yet it never syncs or uses up space on your main hard drive on the system. So I'm continuing to use this, and I'll report back to you how it works and if there were any glitches with it. But for free, and they give you 1 year of the pro version for free, and I'm sure they'll try to get some money out of you at some point. But even the paid version, I looked and it was like $20. So I thought it was a pretty cool way of being able to keep my files handy where it can easily be transferred back and forth to the remote desktop and yet not be taking up space on the drive in my remote desktop. Hope that makes sense. And lastly, I want to show you the title of what we came here to talk about. When you go into your WordPress dashboard and you go to the settings and you go to writing, you'll see that the typical update services, in other words, it only pings one place called Ping-O-Matic. And Ping-O-Matic then goes out to some other places and basically sends an alert to Google and Bing and Yahoo that, hey, we got some new fresh content here. So every time one of your scheduled posts gets dropped, Ping-O-Matic will automatically alert the search engine spiders that, hey, come check out my cool fresh content. And that helps get indexed. But did you know that you can click on this link here and you're going to get a whole list of other places that you could add to this little space here. So let's say I want to add just one more. Copy, Control C, and go over here and do a line break between them. Control V, and click Save Changes. Or I could even go back to that space there, over here, and I could take the whole list and cut and paste it in. Now, how much good that does, with various SEO people will tell you, different stories on how much good that does. But it's a way of just making sure the word really gets out when you are dropping a new scheduled post. Any questions on that? Let me go back to Google Drive, Amazon. Yes. Wow. 60.
You just click the button at the bottom of your screen there, Rod. It says stop sharing.
Okay, so I don't see any any other questions on I know I covered quite a few things in a short period of time, but that's why we have replays. So I think you do well to go check out that software for free. It's called Air Live Drive, I believe it is.
Posted a link in the
okay, cool.
For them all.
And the coolest part about it is it allows you to map to your various cloud storage services and does not sync the files such that your files stay in the cloud and don't use up your disk space. I also found a couple of paid programs that do the same if you don't want to go the route of doing the shareware on sale and possibly grabbing some spyware and adware. There are a couple of services I came across, and one of them does like WinSCP does and Internet Download Manager does. And so if you've got a slow internet connection and you're trying to send a file over to your hosting account or wherever, to your remote desktop, it actually breaks the file up into 5 or 6 streams and then puts all the streams back together to give you a complete file. If you're taking a big file or a big folder across the internet, it makes it a much faster transfer. So if anybody's interested in that, I can go back and find the names of those, because I've forgotten the names, and I was looking back in my history trying to find them, and of course I couldn't find them on short notice. But anyway, that's pretty much going on in Locustware. And make sure you watch for Marty's advanced training. I wouldn't necessarily, it's definitely, as you might realize, Marty's been around a bit, and he's a very sharp marketer. And so if you're just learning the basics of OTP, it may not be time for that for you yet. But once you really start to want to learn some of the strategies and how to apply it, use it for affiliate marketing and local marketing, those kinds of things, it's a great boost up in figuring out how to do things. From one of the smartest marketers we have around. Okay, so that's all I got, and I'm going to turn it over to him. Oh, you want it, Doug?
It's me first, yeah.
All right, I forgot to.
We're saving the best for last. That's why.
That's right. Yep. Age before beauty.
Got it. Okay.
So I stopped sharing my screen, so now I'm waiting for.
Now everybody's got to watch me. Okay, so Rod's gone through showing how you can get more pinging to occur whenever a page or post is published on your WordPress site. And this is very important for helping to get the search bots back to your site and crawl your site. I know everybody is quite observant of something called sitemaps. And Google does use the sitemaps as an indicator of what pages you say you have on your site, but they also must be able to crawl your site. And what that means is they come to your home page, and when they find your home page, they've got to be able to find links to all the other pages on your site for them to like it. And that's one of the beauties of hybrid, the way it has so many links to other pages within it. It's all crisscrossing back and forth and allows the spiders to crawl through your site. So we need them to keep coming back, keep looking at that our site's alive and that it's not dead, and keep going through the pages and saying, well, I like that one this time. Maybe we'll put that one up and see what happens. So that's how indexing occurs. You've got to get them to keep coming back to your site. And that's the importance of having the WordPress front end. And by using Rod's little trick there of adding a few more pinging services there, it makes sure that they don't miss that you just publish something new. So the next little trick we have up our sleeve that's in the Locustware tool chest is a little product called Video Mod Master. And what Video Mod Master does is two things to a video. One spins them. Now, what spinning a video means is that you could have 2 or 3 parts that you want mixed around all the time, making up different videos. So what Cliff has done is designed that you can have intros, a list of intros, you can have a list of primary videos that you want to use, and then you can have a list of outros. And what it'll do is it'll take one of the intros and one of the primaries and one of the outros and make a video. Then it'll take another one of the intros, another one of the primaries, and another one of the outros and make a video. And it keeps randomly doing this to make as many videos as you can make combinations of. Why do you want so many videos? Because you can then use each video for different purposes, different keywords, adding different descriptions to them. And Kim will get a little bit further as to why you want to have different descriptions in them for the indexing part here in the next section. I'm just going to go over basically how Video Mod Master works. So like most of the software we have, you need to enter in a title. So the title acts as a name that it can save all the information we're putting in there too. How many videos do you want to create? This is going to depend on how many intros, outros, and primary videos you have. But let's just say I want to do 5 for the sake of argument. I click the little button for my intros location, takes me to my videos. There's my intros folder. I select them all, go open, click the primaries, go to my primary. I've only got the one. I open that. I now go to my outro location and I click on one and go Control A to select them all. Now you don't have to select all the videos. You could select 5 or 6. You could select 1. So it's up to you how many you want to select. I just made it easy for myself and just selected all the intros and all the outros and let the software randomly pick what it wants out of them. There's 2 other small little features here that we might want to look at that are on the front panel. One is the Find Great Titles. Funny enough, this part of the program actually is no longer working, but that's no problem because Cliff actually has created a much better title maker. So as you see, my video was on reputation marketing. I just typed that in, click Generate Titles in LinkSwarm, and I got dozens of them. So there's a much better title generator than what was originally even in Video Mod Master. So this is where I would go to use that. The next one is check rank index. I had picked a couple of titles. Actually, I deleted them out of the front, so I'm going to select them here again. Close. So I need to add titles in for all the videos that I want to create. Close. So there's the 2 titles I'd selected out of that list that LinkSwarm had given me. I put them in here, and as you can see, after clicking the Run Rank Checker, it quickly went out and decided for me that this is going to be a no-brainer, simple title to rank for, as is this one. So it gives you an indication of how tough it might be to rank for the title that you're that you're wanting to use. So that's another great little option to be able to use. There's one other thing I would like to point out is actually 2. This keyword stuff metadata. I don't know whether you're familiar with metadata as far as images go. It's a way that you can go stuff into an image or a video in this case, extra information you might want to have in there. So it could be keywords. If you're doing local, it might be some geographic locations. So you're able to put that into this box and it will add it to the videos that you're creating. So it's a great way to help optimize the videos even further for what it is that you want to use them for. The other item you have in here is the optional description. This allows you to add more information into the description so that you're able to use that information anywhere in any of the descriptions for each of the videos. And the nice thing is that if you know something called spin tax, which Kim's also going to show you a little bit of, it allows you to make this a changeable addition too. So that you're able to change words, change lines, change URLs, whatever it is you want to do. So it's a really powerful way of building up your description for your videos. And when we're done with all our information, we press the run program. And that gets everything spinning. You see it's going through, checking the registration, like most of Cliff software does. And then it'll get off and start running. You see the telltale green circle spinning here. And it's going to go off, and probably in the next 20 minutes, I'll have 5 separate, unique videos that I'll be able to put up on my YouTube account or Vimeo account or whatever, and they'll all be optimized for my marketing words and so on. So this is how you would use Video Mod Master. It's not complicated, but it really makes it simple to ramp up the number of videos. There's many strategies in the video strategies in the Locustware tool chest that require a number of videos. One of the popular ones is Video Traffic Sniper, and it requires 20 videos to max it out. So, oh, there, I didn't enter enough. Oh, of course I didn't, because I said 5. See how smart it is and how dumb I am? So we'll get her going again. So it allows you to create a large number of videos very quickly from a small number. So if you go out and get yourself some PLR videos, you could use that with a bunch of small intros and outros that you want to use, or just one. You could just use intros or just use outros if you wanted as well. The more varied you make them, the less chance that it will be seen as a duplicate by YouTube. So you want to make sure your primary video is a little bit longer. Don't make them 20 seconds. And make sure that you're using various lengths of intros and outros, and you should be fine. That's really all there is to using Video Mod Master. It's pretty simplistic, but it's very, very powerful. While it's doing this, it's not only spinning the video, but it's applying a second feature to it, which is called cloning. And so what it does is it takes each video and also goes through and alters the bits in it so that it becomes even less discernible as a duplicate. So it really goes the extra steps to make sure that you get as many videos up on your YouTube account as you need. You may run into the odd duplicate. It's just a chance of the randomness of the intros, outros, and your primaries. But who cares? Go run another 20 and you're good to go. All right, that's all I really have to say about Video Mod Master. Was there any questions that anybody had that we can answer?
I want to add one emphasis to something Doug said, but we get a lot of people that have problems with Video Mod Master, and generally when we check into what are they doing, they have a very short primary video, 5-10 seconds, something like that, and they're trying to clone it and spin it into many copies, and then they're not bothering to use intros and outros. You know, all you need is some. You can find intros and outros in lots and lots of places. In fact, I think Cliff even made a few on the page for Video Mod Master. There was like, I don't know, half a dozen or so that you could use it as intros and outros. There were some great programs out that were specifically for making good intros and outros. I can't remember the name of them all, but anyway, you need to find some intros and outros so that it can actually, especially if it's a short video, you know, if it's a minute or two long or longer, you don't really need to worry about it. It can spin that well enough without having the a major amount of intros and outros. But if it's a short video and you're trying to get it to produce unique videos, if you don't give it some intros and outros, you're going to end up getting duplicate content penalties in your YouTube channel. And so you want, if it's a short video, use lots of intros and outros, and don't try and really spin a 5-second video and try to get a whole bunch of unique ones off of that. Okay.
And I guess one other point that I missed was that it only works with MP4 videos, but there's so many converters and format tools out there, you can change formats any which way you want.
And the intros and outros have to be MP4 also.
Correct.
So if there's no questions on that, let's move on to what Kim wants to show us, and how do we use Video Mod Master to help our indexing.
I think that's a good idea. And let me just close that. Kimmy, you want to share your screen?
All right. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah. Wait for the girl to bring the really good stuff, right?
There you go, Kim, it's up.
All right. All right, can everybody see my desktop?
We can see it.
All right. One thing, did anybody read in the announcement, the Kimmy's quiz question? Not remembering these 2 words can cause major frustration with OTP campaigns. What are they? 2 people got it. Anybody?
Oh, John's right on the money there. There's Ed.
Ed learned this one the hard way earlier this week, I do believe.
Ed and Roger got it. So save and load.
Sometimes you're banging your head against the wall trying to go figure out, why is this not working the way I expect it to? And you go back and look through the guide, and what's the biggest 2 words on the guide? The 2 words that are like super big on there. Save and load. Very good.
Yes. Okay. So we'll close that out. All right. I was using one of my OTP sites. You can use any site. Doesn't have to be OTP. You can even use this for other videos to link to them. So I chose, I would not recommend anybody going into anything travel with OTP, because all the front listings are all the airlines usually that have all these numbers and everything. So your posts come out with a bunch of numbers. So I'm just warning you now, you probably don't want to use this niche. But I had a site up, so that's what I was using. And Rod put a PDF in the Discord group that you can kind of follow along with this or refer back to. And when I'm done, I have some links up here for Video Mod Master and Spintex Buddy tutorials that I will put in the Discord group as well. All right, so this site is about travel hacks. So the project, I was just naming travel hacks. Do 1. And whoops, no spaces. I'm just gonna do 5 in my intros. And I do have the, Cliff gave us these intros and outros a while back. I'm just gonna pick 5 random ones here. And open.
Notice she's holding down her control key to select multiple non-contiguous items, right?
Right. Primary. I put these down here. Now what I did with the primary is I just went to YouTube and looked up Creative Commons travel hacks. So that's what the primary one is. Okay, outros. I'll pick 5 of those. 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are all set now. And I have my own titles here. And you can put a few more than the videos that you want to create. But it will go by what you have entered up here. Okay.
If that one person saying that it's too small to see, that is a function of your screen resolution. And if you're on a, like, let's say you're on a small laptop or what have you, it may be too small to see. We recommend go back and watch the replay, click it and go to full screen. And then if you have to, go and change the resolution on your screen to be a lower resolution, which will allow you to see it in larger dimensions.
Okay, so we got that. And I am going to put part of my own description in there. This, you will notice this part down here is spun. That's what I use the Spintax Buddy for. And like I said, I'm going to put this link in the group so you can go and look at the tutorials. But it's a very easy way to spin your anything you want spun. Okay, so what I did is I put like a call to action here, an attention getter. Disgruntled fired travel agent tells travel secrets. Go here. So this is the main site. But what I did, I made some space down here, and then I just put a line there, and I have the spun URLs under here. And what I did, here's the URLs before I spun them. I took the sitemap, my sitemap.txt from my HTML campaign, and I also took the sitemap from WordPress, and I grabbed a few other URLs that were in my sitemap. So I spun all those. I'm going to copy all that, put it in here. And then I'm going to go to keyword stuff metadata. And what I'm going to do is put some of my keywords or my titles in there. And I'm going to pick a few URLs and my sitemap, because I want that to put in my metadata too. Okay, now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to click Unprogram. And it will show right here the number that you're on. And with the special spinning process that it does, that Doug was telling you about, it does take a little bit longer than what you would think. So I did a batch earlier, the exact same thing. And so you wouldn't have to sit here for 10, 15 minutes to watch this thing go around. So this is what it spins out. It will, the little box will come up here and tell you it's completed, and you click OK, and then this will pop up on your desktop. These videos in here are the ones you use for metadata. So if I right click, I go to properties, details, you can see that there's these words in here that came from my keyword list. And then each one will have a little bit different. And I think this one's the one that's got the URL in it. Yes, this one's got the URL and more keywords. So each one, the 5 different ones, will have different metadata for you. Now these are just the regular spun without the metadata if you want to use them that way. Here is your SEO goodness part. Now there will be 5 different sets of these for the 5 different videos. So this right here is the main keyword that I used in the software. There's my call to action. And here's one of the spun URLs right here at the top where I had it. And this is the scraped description for you. Here's more keywords. It even gives you the hashtags. So you can use this in your description. And here's your tags. So you can use however many that you can squeeze in your YouTube description in their tag section. So, and this is for the second video. So they each can have different descriptions and wording and stuff. So that's all of them. And if you have, 5 different channels or 5 different YouTube accounts, like a lot of us do, you can put one in each one of those accounts, and you can do another batch of 5 or 10 or 20, whatever you want, and put more URLs, excuse me, more URLs in there to go back to your sites and your site maps. And in the PDF that Rod put in there, you will see that, then after, you need to give it a few weeks, for your to see if it's going to be indexing and stuff. And then after a few weeks, if you don't see anything, then go ahead and hit it again with some more videos. But links that are in your YouTube are, Google thinks they're pretty valuable. So this should help you out some.
Yes.
But as we said, you can use it for any website, any page you want.
I think the term is Google loves Google.
Yes.
And YouTube is owned by Google. So by putting your links on a video, they pay attention to those and follow them back to your site to see your pages. And if one of those happens to be your site map, then they find a lot of pages real quick.
All right. Are there any questions?
I think we've either lulled them all to sleep or we were very explicit in what we were telling them tonight. No questions until I do it. Yes, Anthony, there's lots to learn, but we're right here to help you along with it. So don't ever fret. Dig in and try some of this. Okay, I don't see any questions. Everybody's just pleased, of course, with your part of the webinar as usual, Kim.
They're fun to do.
How many URLs back to the site might be too many, say for 25 videos? I think you look at it on a video by video basis, Robert. Typically, you might throw 5 to 25 URLs in a video. I wouldn't make them all the same on a channel because then that really looks like you're tampering. So, you know, you throw 7 on this one and 17 on that one and 23 on this one and 4 on that one and just keep mixing it up.
So any questions from anybody?
We're going through them, but so far everybody's just saying thank you. Excellent. Okay, well, nice short night tonight. Hope you all enjoyed the webinar. And we'll be back here next week to show you a little bit more.
We will be putting up the replay of the webinar pretty shortly, and then we'll end up putting it in the space on the forum where you can watch all the webinars. So thanks for being here.
Thank you guys for coming.
It always makes us feel worthwhile if we aren't talking to an empty room, and we appreciate those that take the time to be here and catch the information live. And then, you know, you can always go back to the replay for something that you want to see larger or slower. So y'all have a great night, and thanks for being here. Talk to you back in the Discord room.
Good night, everybody.
Night.